It's a new point of view to chew over what's new to you. Shoot the breeze, make buddies, and Melissa MCs, families, memories, original artist series.
Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Welcome to our 6th Original Artist Series. I can't even believe we've been doing this for 6 weeks. It seems like we've been doing it longer, probably because I've been having so much fun doing it. So thank you so much for tuning in. So tonight we have a very special guest. He's been my friend for many, many years. We met here in New York. At the Duplex Piano Bar, and the rest is history. It was instant friendship. So we have a lot to cover tonight, a very exciting and very still growing career for this fine young gentleman. So without further ado, please welcome to our stage, Dom Giovanni.
Hi.
Hi, honey. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm very excited. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. I think it's good timing the week after John, our pianist, music director friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was perfect timing. So thank you for being available.
Oh, no problem.
Today. So I know it's been a million years now. I saw you like less than a week ago.
I know. It feels like a long time, doesn't it?
Well, I think we've done a good job socially distancing, but still managing to see each other, which I think has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've made it fun as much as we can. So I want to just talk about everything Dom. I mean, I have a lot of notes. I know that we're probably going to like pull something out of our hats that we didn't cover, when we were practicing. But one fun fact I want to tell our listeners and our friends, if they didn't know, that Dom was one of my bridesmaids, actually maid of honor, co-maid of honor with Chocolatina.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say thank you for that, because I was thinking it. But yeah, so that's how close we are, maid of honor status.
It was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day. We had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about, I want to go all the way to the beginning. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up.
So I'm originally from New Haven, Connecticut, 3rd generation New Haven, Connecticut. Or fourth. My great grandmother came over from Ireland and settled in New Haven, and my grandmother, and we're all from New Haven.
That's so fun. And in terms of getting started, because I know, you started in the arts pretty young, but tell us a little bit about your first experience, either in theater or your first experience where you positioned yourself into the arts, or how did you?
So when I was 3 years old, my sister, who's 4 years older than me, Michelle, she was taking dance class, and very chorus line-esque. I would sit in the doorway and watch her. And fun fact, I actually at 3 wasn't potty trained yet. And in order to take dance class, you had to be potty trained. So my mom said, well, if you want to take dance class, you have to be potty trained. And I said, I can do that. So so I got potty trained. I was put into dance class at 3 years old. My shoes were about 3 inches big. And it was actually regular toddler shoes that they put taps on the bottoms.
That's so cool. I love that story. I love that. So when you first started, how many years you started? Tell us a little bit about those first couple years.
So I started at 3. I only took tap and ballet. They saved jazz for when you were a little older. I think they started jazz at 11 or 12. And I actually was in that dance studio till I was 18 and went off to college, American Dance Experience. And my great aunt, my grandmother's sister on my father's side, she owned the studio. And she allowed us, me and my sister, to take dance class for free. Her son actually was in the tour of Tap Dance Kid and was and still is a very renowned tapper. So so I had good tap training.
That's so cool. I love that. So during that time, you mentioned something about an audition. You talked about auditioning for something. When was your first audition that you remember?
So when I was about 8 years old, my mom took me to this ballet company to audition for the Nutcracker. And so I did the Nutcracker when I was 8. I was a bunch of different ensemble things that first year. And the second year, I auditioned and they asked me to be Fritz, Clara's brother. So I had a little featured role. And so that was my first like character show thing that I did. And actually the New England Ballet, the company that I did that with, asked me to come on as an apprentice at 9 years old. And my mom asked me whether or not I wanted to do it. And unfortunately, at the time, I was getting a lot of adversity, being made fun of a lot for dancing in general or ballet and things like that. So I said no, and I turned it down. I would have been a completely different performer today if I had taken that opportunity. Yeah.
Bullying in the arts world when you're young, I can't even imagine. But something changed for you. You mentioned that something.
Yeah. So when I was a little older, I was in like early middle school. I think the 6th grade, and there was this thing my mom saw in the newspaper. It was for kids. It was an art center. It was called All for the Arts, and they were auditioning Oliver. And so I went to audition with Oliver, and I watched the movie of Oliver, and my mom's like, "Oh, I love this song." It was "Where Is Love?" And I was like, well, I can sing that. So I learned "Where Is Love?" And at the time I was like a larger kid. I was quite portly, and as a preteen. And so I went in and sang "Where's Love?" and they asked me to do it a couple of times. And I got cast as Oliver. Now there's the joke version of this story, and then there's a real version. I'll tell you the joke version first. So the joke version is I went on as Oliver, and when I asked, "Please, sir, may I have some more?" everyone in the audience burst out in laughter, and that's when I knew I wanted to do comedy and musical theater. And the actual version of the story is they didn't have enough boys to do Oliver. So they decided to do a production of The Wiz. And I played the lion in The Wiz.
Oh, that's fun.
Because I was a portly, I couldn't fit into a kid-sized lion suit, so they put me in an adult-sized lion suit, and I was like the furriest, cuddliest lion in The Wiz. It was crazy.
I absolutely love that story.
Yeah,
I love it. I can imagine you cuddly for sure.
Mm-hmm. I was like 4 feet tall, portly, in this like big, bunchy, furry lion costume. At one point, they weren't sure if I was going to be able to wear it because they were afraid that I was going to pass out because it was so big, and I had to like dance around and stuff. We actually had like an African dance teacher that taught us African dance for the show and everything.
Oh, so fun! It was so fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, I love that story. So moving on to, I don't know if we're moving on to your first musical theater audition, because I know that there's an award in here somewhere that I remember you talking about.
Yes. That was, yes, when I think it was around the late 90s. It was right before high school. I was a competition dancer for American Dance Experience for my studio. And they had wanted me to be a soloist for a long time. And it wasn't until after I did the Nutcracker that I said, sure, I'll do a solo. So always a tap solo. And I ended up winning Mr. Dance Educators of Connecticut, and the title, and going to New York. And it was a week-long process. You take a bunch of classes, and at the end, they do this big show with all the title contestants. Rochelle Rack was the choreographer for the opening number. We actually did original choreography from Fosse, Bye Bye Blackbird.
That's
and
awesome.
We got to meet Ben Vereen. He came and said hi to all of us. And so it was a very late night. It was a long process where they give out the awards. And I won the title of Mr. Dance Educators of America, and which was extremely exciting. But it went really late. And if anybody knows Metro North, they stopped running trains at midnight to Connecticut, where I was from. And my mom didn't pay for an extra hotel night, didn't think it would go that late. So I was dressed in my costume, this like gold and black like stretchy vest with a like rotary bow tie and a sash that said Mr. Dance Educators of America, and they took my picture as the title winner, and I had this giant trophy, and me and my mom with our suitcases and costumes and makeup running down Park Avenue to catch the Metro North train. It's one of the memories I'll never forget. It's one my mom always talked about, was one of her like greatest memories of us in competition days.
That's so special. Aww. I can just picture you.
Yeah, just running down the street in my little tap costume. And I've continued to tap to this day. It's my favorite. Continue to dance, and dance was really the base of what I've learned. It wasn't until high school that I had training in other things. So
we have.
Do you want to show? Yes.
And Leonie was asking me, what year was this? 3 years ago or 4?
It was about 4 years ago, I think. Okay. I needed to submit a video, an online submission, short online submission video that showed that I can tap dance. So Melissa offered to video me at the Stonewall upstairs. So whoever knows the Stonewall might recognize the space.
Yes. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to watch Dom tapping at the Stonewall. So let me get all this together. I am not a tech person. Okay, here we go. We gotta go back. Uh-oh.
You watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Oh, wait, this is it. Dom Giovanni.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh, just hit, replay, I think.
Oh, replay?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
How adorable are you? I love that video so much.
We need to do a new one because it's been so long.
We can. Yeah, we got to do that soon.
Yes.
That's so great. I love that.
Thank you.
I love it so much. So we also talked about you singing for us.
Oh, sure.
Do you want to do your first number?
Sure. So the story behind this number, in high school, I took this really cool summer program called Center for the Creative Youth, CCY, and my teacher, Carolyn Kirsch, who's a big inspiration for me. She was in the original cast of A Chorus Line. She was Cassie understudy, and she taught us basically what it took to be a musical theater performer. And she was the first person that said to me and the rest of the class, if you can imagine yourself doing anything but this, do it. And I was like, I can't imagine myself doing anything else. But this song, my first song that I'm going to do for you, she actually gave me to perform in the final show of the 6-week program, summer program. And I've used it for almost every audition that I go to today. That's like classic musical theater. I have a cute little 12-bar cut of it. And I get a lot of callbacks and stuff. And I never do the full song. So I'm going to do the full song for you.
Absolutely. And also I'm going to, so that Frank loves it. We love Frank. Thank you, Frank.
Hey, thank you, Frank.
Ina had a comment. She likes you and you're so special.
Oh, thanks, Ina.
Wonderful friends and family. Thank you for watching and supporting us. But I do want to put in, while you sing, Dom has a fabulous website.
Yes.
And you're going to see him sing a few times tonight, but if you want to check out any of his further songs or videos, and as time goes on, we're going to be updating more, but my lovely wife, Leonie, put together this website for him. So check it out when you have a chance. Thanks, Tom. Check it out when you have a chance, and I'm going to let that go in the ticker while you sing your song. So everyone, this is Dom Giovanni.
Thank you.
Oh no. Did your game just get interrupted by an update?
There's a little bit of an ad.
Switching time
Please
to
hold.
a Chromebook that updates automatically. Switch to updates without interruption. Switch to Chromebook.
I dreamed last night I got on the boat to heaven, and by some chance I had brought my dice along, and there I stood, and I hollered someone fade me, but the passengers, they knew right from wrong. For the people all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat. They all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat. And the devil will drag you under by the sharp lapel of your checkered coat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. And as I sailed on that little boat to heaven, by some chance found a bottle in my fist, and there I stood nicely passing out the whiskey, but the passengers were bound to resist. For the people all said, beware, you're on a heavenly trip. The people all said, beware, you'll scuttle the ship. And the devil will drag you under by the fancy tie around your wicked throat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. And as I laughed at those passengers to heaven, a great big wave came and washed me overboard. And as I sank, I hollered, someone save me! That's the moment I woke up. Thank the Lord. And I said to myself, sit down, you're rocking the boat. I said to myself, sit down, you're rocking the boat. And the devil will drag you under by the soul so heavy you'll never float. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat.
amazing.
Thank you.
I haven't heard you sing that in so long.
I don't think I've ever sang the full song in New York at all. It's always my audition cut, and nobody ever asked for the full song. So, and I've never done it at like the bars or anything, like piano bar or anything. I've always just kept it for auditions.
So good. It's so good. Thank you so much for singing that for us tonight.
No problem.
So we've just heard you sing a musical theater song. So my next question is, when and what was your first musical theater audition?
So my first musical theater audition is that I can remember was the production of Oliver / The Wiz. I think that was my first musical theater audition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about your journey into college, because I know that you went to an amazing college.
Yeah.
You have a couple great stories about your audition and scholarships and things like that. So tell us a little bit about your journey of heading there.
So I only auditioned for 2 schools, and one was in New York, American Musical and Dramatic Academy, and the other was for Point Park University, that my dance teacher at the time, Miss Alicia Desissaire Corcoran, she had suggested Point Park, and I'd never heard of it before, but I was like, okay, and it's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I was like, apparently they had an amazing dance program and also a great musical theater conservatory. So I went to audition, and there was a couple of things that really sealed the deal for me. The first was I was in the hallway and just waiting to go into audition. And there was this redhead, tall, thin, gorgeous redhead who sounded like Ethel Merman. And she was like, "Oh, how was your Thanksgiving?" And I was like, "There are people like me." I like instantly connected. And she was this like body broad. And I later found out that this girl, Candy Boyd, a college friend of mine, who's a amazing talent. She now has like Broadway credits and stuff. She's incredible. But she, the year later, then played Reno Sweeney in Anything Goes in college, which was amazing to see my freshman year. But that was one thing. And I do want to mention the other thing that sealed the deal is we got to see one of the company shows, the shows that the conservatory is putting on. They specifically do the audition so that at night you can see a show that the students perform. And the show that I got to see, a specific student actually wrote it. Marcus Stevens, he was an alumni, and with Brian Loudermilk, and they were a writing team, and it was this beautiful show called Red. And it was about Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, told through the eyes of Lenny Bruce. And it was just so astounding. My later to be, my friend Erin Crum, she played Ethel Rosenberg. And I just remember when they talked about her passing and her being executed, and just sobbing tears. I was like, this is it. This is the place. And finally, what really saved the day is my mom worked for the University of New Haven at the time, and Point Park had a tuition exchange program. So a child of someone who worked at Point Park could go to University of New Haven for a free scholarship, and I could go to Point Park for free. So I ended up going to Point Park on a full scholarship.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing that. I love hearing about scholarships. It's so competitive.
It was crazy. So I'm really, really fortunate to have had that opportunity.
So tell us a little bit about, well, one fun fact you told me that you graduated in 3.5 years instead of 4.
Yes, I graduated a semester early. I tested out of a bunch of academics, and I got all my credits done early. They really frowned upon that in the conservatory, graduating early, but I wanted to finish it out, and I had like a few more. I didn't really have any other classes left, so I figured I would just graduate a semester early.
I love it. And so tell us a few highlights, because I know that you had some amazing experiences, but tell me about 1 or 2 highlights that you had while you were.
One of the highlights was getting to the opportunity to meet and be taught by an amazing artist. Her name is Perlin Porter. She runs the Pillow Project Dance Company. I took class from her in college, and then just out of college, I was an apprentice in the company, and I was a company dancer, which is something I never thought as a 5'3", rather stout guy, that I would ever be in a dance-based company. But the artistry that she does is just incredible. She was working with video and projection long before they started doing it on Broadway and stuff like that. She didn't even know what she was really fiddling with, but knew that she could accomplish the vision that she had. The story behind the Pillow Project, that she says her husband at the time always said that she danced in her sleep. And she would toss and turn, and it looked like she was dancing in her sleep. So her idea was to take the ideas off the pillow and into real life. So that's why she called it the Pillow Project.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
You told me that before, but I never knew that's why it was called the Pillow Project.
Yeah.
See, I love learning these new things. So I know you mentioned when you left Point Park, you really missed that interaction with the dance company and everything.
Yes, when I left Pittsburgh, yeah,
had an impact on you, which is really awesome, because I think as artists we're lucky if we get that kind of inspiration, for sure.
It really taught me the art of creation of character through movement. One of the other experiences in college was getting to perform the first non-union educational production of Contact, which won the Tony in 2000. Tome Cousin, who was in the original cast, came to set the show on us, and I actually played the role that he helped create, because Susan Stroman had them all in the room and kind of create characters and help like influence her choreography. But he gave me free reign to create the character, and it was really a really bonding experience, very ensemble based. If any of you all know Susan Stroman shows, it's a lot of props. Usually there's a lot of like things. There was definitely a lot of props. I was in this dinner scene. If one person moved a fork the wrong way or the plate went to the wrong table, the whole thing was like a domino effect. So to get the specificity was so important, but it was building that story in your character through the specificity that made it so fun. Because it was like, I had to pick up my fork at this, but why am I picking up this fork? You know, not because I was told to on beat 8, it's because I have a reason, and you have to imbue that with a reason, so that if any of the audience members looked at a specific person in the scene, they could tell that a story was going on, and they could potentially like thread your story together.
Right. That's awesome. I've only seen videos of Contact, but I always thought it was really sexy too.
Yes, it was very sexy. My character was not very sexy, but in general, the show was sexy.
That was my takeaway from the excerpts I saw. So after that, you finished college a little early. you had some great experiences. It sounds some incredible influences. So what was your next step at that point?
So I graduated a semester early. I graduated December of 07. Then in 08, into 2008 December, I did this big production that I helped curate the character for Pillow Project called 2084. It was themes of 1984, the book, the Orwellian book, those kind of themes. But it was set to all Radiohead music, which was really cool. That summer we got to go to a Radiohead concert, and we knew all the music because we were dancing to it. But when that show finished, about a month and a half later, I moved to New York. So I moved to New York in December of 08, and as many of people know, that was the time of the Depression, the recession. So I moved to New York during a recession, and but I had a job in a month at a sandwich and coffee shop in Midtown, and and then I started to do some experimental readings and things like that, and audition and go to piano bars where I met you and our friend John Bronston and all of my friends, New York friends that I have now.
Yes. Some really great people we met and have stayed friends with. Yeah, that's the highlight from Piano Bar for sure. So you moved to the city. Okay, you graduated. You moved to the city. You met a bunch of friends at the fun piano bars, which we all know Brandy's is our favorite. We love Brandy's. We'll talk more about that later for sure. So we're here. You've landed. Tell us a little bit about your professional career, some of your highlights of your jobs that you've had after graduation and becoming you've already had professional jobs in school. I mean, when you were younger.
So my very first professional job, paid job, was my sophomore year of high school. Actually, I did a play. I did To Kill a Mockingbird. I was cast as Dill, Charles Baker Harris III, based on the original story. The character was based on Truman Capote, and I was cast because they said I looked like a young Truman Capote, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but I'll take it. And I played a 7-year-old at the age of 15. And I was a tiny 15-year-old. It was my very, very first professional gig, and it was incredible. I did another show with them, The Good Doctor, which is like a comedic interpretation of Chekhov, Neil Simon play of like different vignettes, and I played a 16-year-old being taken to a prostitute by his father for his 16th birthday. So
sounds a little risque.
It was a little risque. Then after I moved to New York, a lot of my first professional gigs, like I said, were like new works. I did this interesting piece called Play the Music Softly. I did a show that our friend John got me into. His writing partner, Joshua Robinson, wrote this play called Valentine, which is based on a true story of Lawrence King, who is a 14-year-old that liked to dress in women's clothing and was made fun of a lot. And he asked another boy to be his Valentine, and that boy actually came in to school with a gun and killed him, which is a very dramatic piece. And it was really delving into what is wrong, like what the educational system can do to help people who are different without singling people out as different. It was a very interesting piece. And I did 2 different productions of that, actually. And then in about 2014 is when I started to do the shows that had already existed. I did a summer stock in 2014. I played Mary Sunshine in Chicago, which was a lot of fun. I would love to play Amos now, a little easier on the voice. And because when you age, things change.
Oh, they do. They sure do.
And we did Call Me Madam and Crazy for You, which was probably the most fun I've ever had in a show. I was like a little featured role in the Biding My Time trio, and then I was a tap soloist. So that was a blast. And then I toured Canada in a children's show called Forever Frozen Story, where I got to play the villain for once, which was very fun. I played Grusom. It was like a Pinky and the Brain type villainous duo. And I had this like long patter song that I had to learn in like a day before. Like when I went out on stage, it was so terrifying. But I had a really cool costume and makeup for it. So
I love it. I love. So I really want to take a deep dive into your performing off Broadway. But I thought, because I know we have 2 more songs that you're going to sing, would you mind singing before we launch into your off Broadway credits?
No, I would love to. This one is actually a request from the Miss Leone. Yes. Melissa's wife requested this song specifically. So when Melissa's wife requests this song, you sing this song on Melissa's show.
I love it. All right, this is Dom Giovanni with his second song of the evening. And then we're going to go back and learn more about his off-Broadway credits. Dom Giovanni, everyone.
Have you ever fed a lover with just your hand? Close your eyes and trust it. Just trust it. Have you ever thrown a fist full of glitter in the air? Have you ever looked fear in the face and said, I just don't care? But it's only half past the point of no return, the tip of the iceberg, the sun before the burn, the thunder before the lightning, and the breath before the freeze. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever hated yourself for staring at the phone? Your whole life waiting on a ring to prove you're not alone. Have you ever been touched so gently you could cry? Have you ever invited a stranger to come inside? But it's only half past the point of oblivion, the hourglass on the table, the walk before the round, the breath before the kiss, and the fear before the phrase. Have you ever felt this way? La, 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 la. There you are, sitting in the garden, clutching my coffee, calling me sugar. You ever wished for an endless night. Lasso the moon and the stars and pull the rope tight. Have you ever held your breath and asked yourself, could it ever get better than tonight? Tonight. Thank you.
Jennifer Pay says you sound and look amazing.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer.
I think she's been watching the whole time. Thank you so much for supporting us. Leonia sent over some emojis. I think that means she raised her hand.
And then there was dancing, and then there's a laughing.
And then she sent you a heart.
And a heart. And a blue heart, my favorite.
Thank you, Leonie.
Blue's my favorite. Thank you, Leonie. That was a great suggestion.
Beautiful. That
Thank
was so
you.
beautiful. I love how you sing that song.
Thanks.
Now that's something you do in the piano bars from time to time.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes,
So
that's a song I do in piano bar.
So it's fair if I request that next time we go to Brandy's,
Yes. Yeah.
where you're allowed to sing. And the social distance stuff. So let's talk about before social distance and off Broadway. Tell me everything.
Broadway. So, so my very first off-Broadway contract was a play called Gemini. I auditioned for the role of Herschel, and the posting said he was a heavy asthmatic. And so I went in with my monologue, and every time there was like a comma or a pause or because he repeated himself a lot, every time he would repeat himself, I would like take like a breath, like I can't breathe. And they thought it was really great, and then they told me to like dial back the breathing, and then they told me to do it like completely solid, and I wasn't sure was gonna get it. There was 2 rounds of callbacks for this specific role, and I wasn't sure that I was right for it. And Alana, who's the producer and also played my mother in the show,
She was great, by the way.
she was fantastic. She was like, you were just the right person for the role, and I was so honored. The character is a 16-year-old on the spectrum who is obsessed with trolleys. It was a play. It was non-musical called Gemini, and it was the first off-Broadway.
He might be frozen. Dommy. Yes, so I saw Dom in this amazing play, and we sat in the front row, and I felt like a proud parent, like a proud sibling, parent, whatever you want to call it. I definitely was so proud of him. It was really, really fun, and I think a lot of our friends that had only seen Dom like sing in the piano bar and things like that, they went to see him and really saw him shine in this role.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I lost
There's
connection.
you.
I'm so sorry. I lost connection. So I had to log out and log back in.
How I sat in the front row and I was so proud of you.
Mhm.
And I just felt like a proud parent, proud sibling, proud whatever I am, you know.
And I had a beautiful review from Onstage Blog, and it was an amazing experience. I wish it could have ran longer. It was only, I think, a 3-week run. We rehearsed it for about 3 weeks as well. And I tried so many different things with that character, and I think I really found the the essence of who Herschel was, and I miss him.
Yeah.
He means a lot to me.
And Frank is LOLing.
Did you even know I left?
Probably at your frozen face.
Oh no. Oops. Sorry.
No, it happens. I freeze sometimes too. It's the internet that we're dealing with.
The interwebs.
Oh, the interwebs. I don't know. I'm sitting here a lot these days with the job and the other job and then the other job.
All of those jobs.
All the jobs.
All the jobs.
Paid or otherwise, you know.
If there is a job, Melissa has it.
Yes, people make fun of me saying I have 4 jobs, and one of them is being married.
Having your wife, yeah.
That she's a job. You've been here around for that job. So, off Broadway, great play. Jennifer is correct. You were awesome. You were just. I just see so many more straight plays in your future. I mean, I think that there's a lot, and you're aging so slowly. Like, I think you're going to be able to play 16 still till you're probably, my age. How old is that? Don't tell anyone.
35.
35, yes. Oh,
You're a year older than me.
There we go. Thank you.
You have to be older than me, Melissa. So you're 35.
If I'm 35, then you're 25 or 24.
Oh, okay. Oh, that works. I'll take it.
Or that's how that works.
That's how that works.
So tell us about, we have close to 10 minutes left. I know you're going to sing for us again, but I want to hear all about Come Out, Come Out. Tell everybody.
Come Out. Yes. Come Out is a new work that Ronnie Larson in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, wrote. It's one of his first musicals he wrote on his own. It is a 1920s musical. All of the music is actual radio hits from the 1920s that most people have never heard of. Most, except for maybe Makin' Whoopee, I think is the only like popular song. You know all about that.
Love that song.
But it's about this guy who is gay in the 1920s, and he really wants a substantial relationship and partnership and a boyfriend or a husband, and that's really something that he wants. But the only way to find men of that certain persuasion in the 1920s was really to go to these to parks and and cruise. So one of the first scene that with all of the cast is set in Central Park, and everybody's at a park bench like cruising each other. So it's something it's a little bit subversive. It's something you've never really seen before, but it has this kind of classic 1920s feel. And it's a big tap show.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's weird. We had 2 weeks of a run. We had 1 week of previews and 2 week run. And then we ended up getting the call that everything was shutting down, and that we were going to postpone the rest of the run till whenever things look okay again. So
what was that like in that news? Was it a little surreal?
It was really surreal, especially because like I have friends in New York and I'm in Florida, and I'm hearing what my friends are saying about Florida, and I'm seeing the news of what the news is saying about New York, and it was a very like alternate universe kind of thing, because I really didn't know how serious anything was, what was going on, what the likelihood of like catching it was, especially taking a plane from Florida to New York. But back then, Florida wasn't a hot spot, and New York was the hot spot, and I was flying into there. So it was a very odd situation. He said that Ronnie, our producer, said that we could have stayed in Florida as long as we liked, and he would find us a place to stay. But but I immediately came home because everything was kind of awry. I kind of wish I stayed in Florida a little longer because there's a lot of open spaces. There's the, the pools, and, there's nice things to do just on the premise of one's, in one's house,
Right.
yeah. So, but yeah, then I came here and quarantined for 3 months, 4 months.
We're still being safe. We're still
Yes.
quarantining.
But I'm visiting some like Brandy's Piano Bar and Stonewall and their little outdoor situation that all these places have set up, which is actually really beautiful. And I'm really excited. I've been telling a lot of people that I'm really excited for the rebirth of New York. New York's not dead. It's just sleeping, and it's tired because it hasn't slept in 100 years. And
Right.
There's so many people here that are still doing art and still creating, and even virtually, or not virtually, outside of on the sidewalk of Brandy's, you can hear some of the best performers in New York. Every night there's live music, and
Like you've been singing there a little bit, yeah?
I actually haven't sang there yet since they reopened. I did do a benefit. I did a benefit concert there for them to help raise money for the bar to stay open. It really has been a home for me over the past few years.
Oh, absolutely. And I hear they have good vegetables and hummus, you said.
Oh, yes. Their crudité plate is
food item.
delicious. Right. And then
thing.
Yeah, and they have chips and salsa or veggies and hummus. So I've been having a lot of veggies lately.
Why not?
Right. Keeps the skin clear.
Trainer, like you've been like using quarantine as a very positive experience for yourself, for sure.
I've been trying to. I feel like one of the things that I can control is my own body and what I do with it and being nice to it. And so I started a whole workout regimen and things because I need something to focus on right now and get myself ready for getting back into the game, into the into auditioning and stuff. And this is the best time to do it.
Absolutely. Keeping our brains sharp and definitely, keeping healthy. I think that hasn't been that difficult. I mean, for us, we don't really go many places, but if we do, we make sure it's safe and we make sure that people are, kind of people I've been around a lot, like you and Juan and John and Frank and Jennifer. We've seen Jennifer keeping it really, really safe. So speaking of safe and not wearing a mask, you're inside your apartment, you're by yourself. I think we need another song.
Okay, this one is one of our mutual friends' favorite songs that I sing usually in karaoke. This is another one I don't sing in piano bar necessarily, but I sing it in karaoke. It's a karaoke favorite. So
all right. Well,
since I'm using tracks, I figured I might as well.
Right. And here's to all of our karaoke that we've missed all these weeks.
All these karaokes.
Okay, my darling. This is Dom Giovanni with his third song of the evening. And take it away, my love.
Thank you. Another ad, 15 seconds. Sorry about that. I didn't know there was an ad here. Little Carole King song for you. Wanting you the way I do, I only wanna be with you, and I will go to the ends of the earth, 'cause darling, to me that's what you're worth. Where you lead, I will follow anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow where you If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so cold, all you have to do is call my name and I'll be there on the next train where you lead. I will follow anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow where you lead. I always wanted a real home with flowers on the windowsill. But if you wanna live in New York City, honey, you know I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I never thought I could get satisfaction from just one man. But if anyone can keep me happy, you're the one who can. Where you lead, I will follow anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow. Where you lead, I will follow anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow where you lead. Oh, baby, ooh, I wanna follow where you lead. Ooh, baby, I'm gonna follow where you lead. Oh, baby, I'm gonna follow where you lead. Ooh, sugar now, I wanna follow where you lead. Ooh, baby.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
I was taking pictures. I'll send them to you.
Oh God. Screenshotting me again.
You know me. Who would I be if I didn't take? Let's take a real cute one. Okay, that's cute. You know me. And anyone who doesn't, I'm famous for taking pictures of absolutely everything.
Yes.
But when we're like 80 years old and, I'm 90, we're going to be in South Africa with Ina at the pool or the beach. And you'll be like, thank you for taking all those pictures.
All those pictures.
I get chocolate over here. I'm hungry. Chocolate's going to be our chef.
Yes, definitely.
Johnny's going to be the resident talent. He's going to play piano. Frank's going to be our HR for all of our employees that we're going to have. Our bed and breakfast.
The many employees.
We're going to have many employees. Yeah. And then you're going to come and you're going to do shows. You're going to sing with Chocolatina, Sunny, and Cher.
Mm-hmm.
That Halloween story will always make me smile.
Yeah.
You look so cute. Sunny.
That was so much fun. And we had planned to sing I Got You, Babe, really early in the night, but it didn't happen until really late. And we both had a few cocktails. And just a few. It was like 3:30 in the morning, and me and Chocolate, like my fake mustache, because at the time I was a youngin' and I couldn't grow a mustache, so I had a fake one, and it kept on falling off. And me and Chocolate trying to sing "I Got You, Babe," but we're singing the wrong parts. It was a memory.
That is one way to put it, but it was an amazing memory. I will agree. So we're at 7:00. I wanted to ask you a few quick questions.
Some cute questions.
Some cute questions.
Like really cute questions.
So like cute questions. We're just gonna ask a few cute. Who inspires you today, 2020? We're in the beginning of September. Right now, who inspires Dom?
Right now, the people that inspire me are people that are able to take this moment in time and create something that is their own, and have not lost themselves in everything that's going on, but can pull through and be authentically themselves, but still create. You, Melissa, for doing the show and your all of your live shows and stuff. I'm totally inspired by you. My friend Jennifer Pace, who has done over 100 videos of
content, new content every day.
Every single night. Well, not that she does 4 for Friday and Saturday nights, but for a week, that's a lot of new material.
That's a lot of new stuff. Absolutely.
Our friend John Bronston, who's constantly working and constantly creating. He's doing this new review for reviews that we'll both be singing in, and you and me, Melissa, will be singing in. And he's musical directing a bunch of things via Zoom and teaching and really taking this moment to restructure. Also, Pearl Porter that I mentioned earlier, the artistic director of the company, she's figuring out how to use this platform in an artistic way to influence improv dance movement. And I find that just so fascinating. It's like what resources we have right now to stay in it and stay inspired and creative and artists.
I agree. So my last and final question that we talked about, conventional or otherwise, what is your dream musical theater role, or straight theater or movies? Dream role.
So I did Sit Down, You Rock on the Boat. Nicely has always been a dream role to do professionally. Plays, I would love to play Artie Shaughnessy in House of Blue Leaves. It's one of my favorite plays. John Guar wrote it. For me, though, my favorite roles are roles that I create, and roles that a writer and a producer gives me the opportunity to, here's the framework, here's the writing, make him a person. That's really my ultimate dream, is to be given the opportunity to like really flesh out and humanize a written character, a new one.
I love that saying, and you're not to apply this to all arenas. A very important mentor in my life, who I'm working with currently at Estee Lauder, they asked her, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And she said, oh, the job hasn't been created yet. What I can do, what I'm capable of doing has not been created yet. And that's what I feel like you're saying. Your dream role may not have been created yet, but maybe you'll get to create it. Hopefully in January, when Broadway's back and we're able to get back in the theaters. And I know what our last question, final, sorry, there's one more. I asked you, as soon as we're allowed and as soon as things open, we're not sure if everything's opening, but let's just hope. What's the first musical you're going to run to as soon as Broadway's back?
Oh, I know I thought about this, and now I don't know what that's so hard.
You had an answer that I loved.
Did I? I don't remember what I said.
We said we're going to go see Six.
Oh, yes. I was forgetting that existed because it never opened.
I know. They closed the day it opened. I mean,
in my head, I was like, Wicked, Phantom, meh. And I was like, they're great. They have their own.
Frank was lucky enough to see it in.
I would love to see Six.
I saw it on the Bliss. We were on the Norwegian Bliss, and I have a girl that I talked to on Instagram. I'm hoping to get on the show. Her name's Hazel. She was the green girl. But all the girls following them on Instagram and stuff, I think They're just in the writing. I just think it's brilliant. So that's a date, my friend. We're gonna go see Six.
See Six, yes.
We're gonna get the whatever's available. We're gonna sit wherever's available, and we're gonna enjoy our first Broadway show back as soon as we're allowed.
I can't wait.
Well, this has been so much fun. I feel like time flies because you and I can talk absolutely forever. That's like totally a thing. So, Dom, I just want to wish you the best in all of your career, and I can't wait to the next time I can grab Jennifer and John and Frank and Leonie. Ina can come visit. We all come sit in the front row and be like proud little friends and family for you.
Yay, I can't wait to perform in front of people.
I know. I hear you. I'm like, I practice, and I'm like, okay, it's still there. I still have it. It's still, I can still do it.
Yeah, I can still.
I love it. All right, my love. Well, I know I'm seeing you soon.
Yes.
Hang out backstage. We'll do a recap. And,
okay.
We'll talk soon. I love you.
Mwah, love you. Thank you
again. That was Dom Giovanni, everybody. He has an amazing career, and he's just going to keep on. And I know New York, we are all ready for some live theater. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everyone that we're sharing with on different pages. I appreciate the support. I've gotten a lot of really positive comments, so I really appreciate it. I want to bring to life as many artists as I can, as long as we do the show. People that you know, people that you don't, people you've never heard of, people that are, all over the place. So I want to definitely thank each and every one of you who have reached out to me saying, thank you for doing this, and thank you for keeping the arts alive, even if it is a live stream. Next week, we have another Point Park grad, my friend Jamie Ragusa. She'll be talking about her acting career, as well as our dance experiences together back in the early 2000s. So Point Park will be back in the house. All right, everyone, thank you so much again, and have a good night. Stay safe. Wear a mask.
For you, it's a new point of view to chew over what's new to you. Shoot the breeze, make buddies, and Melissa MC's families, memories, original artist series.